Hey folks, in this video, we're going to chat a little bit about tracking time, expenses, or equipment allocated to a specific job in Zoho. We're all familiar with Zoho projects where it's fairly standard to track time and expenses against a specific project, or if you are tracking an internal expenditure, you can use Zoho Expense. But those applications don't necessarily provide for a good solution if you need third parties to be able to log time, expenses, materials, or equipment allocated to a job. This oftentimes come up if you're an organization that may subcontract work out to third parties, or perhaps you want the client themselves to be able to log time against a specific project in conjunction with your resources. This is where we can get a little bit more flexible using Zoho CRM and ZPortals. So a typical use case would be creating a custom module to track jobs in the CRM, or if you choose, you can simply use the closed deal itself as the job. And then you can use a custom module like time logs or expenses that you create in the CRM to be able to track time and expenses against that specific job. Now, that's all well and good if you are simply tracking those time and expenses internally. But in order to display a form or a portal where a contractor, third-party customer can log in, view a job, log time against it, or better yet, create a daily log where they can log multiple time logs, expenses, etc., against multiple jobs that they attend that day, that's where ZPortals really comes in and can provide a good use case. So let me share my screen and we'll take a look at an example configuration here. And I'm going to jump back and forth between the CRM and ZPortals and show you what this could look like. Okay, so here we are in the CRM. And as you can see, we have a custom module that we labeled here employee daily logs. Now, in this particular use case, we may want an employee or a contractor to be able to submit a single record each day for all of the activities, expenses, materials, or equipment they use that day across multiple jobs. So in this use case, you can create a custom module that would house that daily intake. And we can have a lookup field over here to the person that is submitting it. And then we can have one or multiple subforms on this record where we can do things like, in this case, allocating equipment to a specific job. Or if you are a painting company, perhaps you'll have two subforms, one to track the amount of time that you spend on a job. The other may track materials used or consumed on that particular job. So you can obviously create multiple custom fields over here with lookup values to a specific job, specific equipment that was used, maybe a materials list that was consumed, and then we can have that employee track time entries for those various jobs and or use cases. So this is great if you have an admin in-house that's inputting it into the CRM, but more often than not, you want the employee to be able to submit these records through a portal, and that's where ZPortals comes in. So if I jump over here to an example portal, we can see that we have a number of different tabs here. One of those tabs is a daily logs tab. We simply integrated that employee daily logs module into ZPortals over here. You can embed instructions, and then, of course, you can see their list of daily logs. This will allow an employee to begin a log at the beginning of the day, and as they move from one job to the next, they can jump into an existing time log here to edit it. Once they finish their day, they can then submit it for review, and we can do things like lock that submission so the employee can't edit it after they've submitted it to their manager. Once the manager approves it, it could automatically get posted to that client's job. And we can similarly have a client portal where that client can view the progress on their job in somewhat real time. So if we go over here to create a new log, I'm going to jump into one that I've started. We can see that the employee can begin putting in the date and time that they're starting when they log out for the day. We can have fields that track the types of activities that they are perhaps doing. Of course, all of these fields are completely customizable to your use case. So take it with a grain of salt, as this is just one example. So The employee can begin a daily log, and we can do things like show a subform over here. And based on the type of activity that they're doing, we can display different types of subforms with some more advanced functionality. And we can have the employee or the contractor go in and look up a specific job number that they're logging time to, perhaps a machine that they used. Again, your use case may warrant different fields here, depending on whether you're tracking time, materials, equipment used, etc. So employees or contractors can come in, create multiple entries throughout the day, log in and out of different jobs, put how much time they spent there, etc. You can also allow them to upload receipts or other attachments that may be relevant to that specific use case. So maybe if you are a transport company and you have sign-off sheets for delivery receipts and that sort of thing, you can have them upload them here as well. So once the employee has submitted their log, they can go ahead and save their changes. And then you can have a status or a button that can commit it to that particular job for manager review and approval. And that can then, of course, roll up with a custom function to the job level, any hours, costs, etc., associated with that specific job. And then a great use case is to have a customer portal where that customer could then see aggregated time, materials, costs, etc., logged against their job on a daily basis. So I hope that this provides some insight. Again, this can be a very flexible use case. To summarize, you'll be able to create a custom module in the CRM to track jobs or projects. You can have one or multiple other custom modules or subforms to track your time entries or materials. Display that in a portal to contractors or third parties where they can log in, submit their daily logs, and then have a function roll those totals up to the job where you can then display that back to the client. We look forward to discussing your use case, so don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you get this configured. Thanks a lot. Cheers.